So I had a bit of a silly idea. I want to see if I find a Pokemon that is high ranked on PvPoke that doesn't have any usage. And I thought I would have to go to like the top 100s, but no. There is at number 17 Bellibolt. And while yes, this Pokemon has a lot of play in the Open Ultra League, I have yet not seen really anyone run this in the Open Great League, and it's rank 17. It must be great, right? Like that is top 20 meta Pokemon. Well, let's find out. Here's the team. Bellibolt, Credilli, as well as Azumarill. So, the main idea is here that Bellibolt is going to be great in the lead, because you're going to have Parabolic Charge, which is going to allow you to win a lot of scenarios in the 2-shield scenario there. And then you're going to have as our Safe Credilli, and in the back Azumarill, which is going to help us with the weakness against Ground-type Pokemon, which is the main weakness of Electric-type Pokemon. First battle here already, we are going to encounter the worst possible, core breaker here for this team. A Pokemon that you don't ever really see either, to be fair, with Chestnut, but you see Chestnut way more often than you would ever see the Bellibolt in the Open Great League. I think quite wild that Bellibolt is ranked 17 and absolutely no one is using it. And so today we're going to try to figure out, why is that the case? Is that correct? Is the ranking correct, or is it correct that people shouldn't use this Pokemon? We're going to find out together here today. All you have here is already a hard counter against us though. We're going to have here the Empoleon as well against our Credilli, which is going to be a very tough matchup for us as well. But weirdly enough, the opponent lets me go for a charge move before they even get to another charge move themselves. And they just decide to let the move go. And they go to the Chestnut, and they let the Chestnut go down. And so the first battle here, we're going to be able to win. And so we can move on to the next one, where we will face, the Charjabug, which is going to be, generally alright matchup, I think, because our fast moves are going to be neutral, and we're going to be able to boost ourselves up. So this is going to be interesting here, as now we're going to just be able to let this move go. It's going to be the Exeter, and this is going to be now again another charge move coming in. Parabolic Charge is going to allow us to get that KO against them, and now we have a double boosted Bellibolt against whatever comes in, so that's not too bad. I decided to store Parabolic Charge for later on because my backlight are both alright against Gastrodon, especially Azumarill is not threatened by the more damaging move, which is of course going to be the Water Pulse of that one, so they are forced to go for the way cheaper, way less damaging move of a Body Slam, which is going to be alright for us. As now Player Off is coming through. Player Off is going to allow us to get some damage onto them, and we're going to try our best to go for even nearly the full Farm Down maybe. That could be a play. Could have went for an Ice Beam here as well, I guess, but I think full Farm Down would be cool. Turns out they have enough energy to get another move here, but I decided to just let the move go. I think that Credilli is most likely going to be alright for us. Turns out they have the worst possible Pokemon on the back end, so we take our first loss here. And we move on with a great lead matchup. Our entire team is good against this Pokemon, but also what I didn't actually know is how strong the Marowak is against Azumarill. Like, yes, this should be a matchup that you should be a little bit more aware of, because, Marowak is a Pokemon that is quite more common. Azumarill is a Pokemon that is quite more common, but as we will see here as well, we are going to be able to shield this move up. It is going to be the Bone Club, and I can try to go for the Ice Beam against the opponent, but they decide to go for another move, so that's going to be a bit more closer. If they shield, they might be able to align themselves, but I actually don't really care too much, because I have two Pokemon that are very good against Flying-type Pokemon still, so I really don't care if they have alignment here or not. I can go into my Credilli, I can take the hit, I am going to be able to farm them down, and I am in a very solid spot. There's nothing that I'm really worried about here with their Moltres. And so here they swap out into the Moltres. I try to catch the move here on my Bellibolt, but they of course have the Gastrodon in the back, which is going to be awkward, because Gastrodon is also going to be able to do some nice damage against our Credilli, and we lose the CMP tie there. And we don't get them low enough. If I got the debuff there, I think I would have been able to get them low enough, because I would have most likely been able to survive another move there. But as we will see, we are not going to be in a perfect spot. The opponent is going to be able to go for another move. If I would have been able to farm them down here as well, I would have been fine. But like this, the opponent is going to be able to knock us out. I need to have a shield for the fly that was stored on the Moltres. So maybe a bit unlucky. Maybe I could have played a little bit better. Well, let's analyze the next battle. We're going to have here the Rockshroom coming through. And they shield this move up, which is quite nice and something that I did not expect at all. But I will take it. I will gladly take it. I will be able to go ahead and go for a nice charge move for the Grass Knot here. And this is going to allow us to get another shield. So there must be weak to Credilli in the back. which is interesting. That is very much interesting. As we will see here now, the opponent is going to have the Wigglytuff. And we're gonna have our Azumarill, which is gonna be able to take those ice runes a bit easier. But then I decided to still swap out into my Bellibolt, just trying to, I don't know, catch a move. I don't know why I did this, to be fair. It doesn't really make too much sense here. It's more my fault that I did this in the way I did it. So I should have not done that for sure. So let's see. We're going to be able to go for the Parabolic Charge here. We are going to be able to get some nice damage there. And they're still going to have the Steelix, of course. I don't know why I played like this. Maybe this was more of my mistake. But I can go for the Parabolic Charge to try to just kind of allow my Bellibolt to still survive in the back. I can go to the Azumarill, and the opponent makes a great play. They go for the Earthquake. This is going to be a very, very smart play, as this is going to be now yet another charge move coming through. The Psychic Fangs is going to drop our defense, and we can go for the Ice Beam, which is going to allow us to go for some nice damage. This is going to be interesting, as you now see here as well. That Icy Wind is coming through from the opponent. It's going to drop our attack, and this actually is going to be quite important, because now we cannot farm them down. We have to invest in another shield, so this was a misplay by me. And I guess this kind of is a bit more awkward. Like, this is literally a bit more awkward, because now the opponent is going to be in a position where they still can go into the Steelix. I will at least see most likely the final one here from the opponent, the final Pokemon, which is quite nice, but I don't think I'm going to be able to win. But I definitely didn't play that perfectly. So that is not on Bellibolt, that is more on me. It's going to be a Carbing in the back. Could have been maybe playable, I'm not too sure. Do you think that very likely would have been already in a little bit of an awkward position. But let's take a look here at, this one here. We're going to see the Rock Tomb coming through. We are going to be able to go up and go for the Grass Knot against the opponent. The opponent goes for a charge move though. It's going to be that Ray Twist, boosting their own attack up, and this is going to make it more awkward. But what we've seen so far though, just as like a midway through analysis, is Bellibolt, while on paper it wins a lot of the leads, or like just generally wins a lot of the matchups, it doesn't seem to perform that well against most of the current meta, which is maybe why nobody is using it. That's more to analyze though. We saw a lot of damage already. We're gonna see a Charizard coming in, which is actually quite nice for us. And maybe we can at least take this game home after we had a little bit of, tougher matchups there, but we're gonna have now Credilli against us. But to be fair, Credilli is not the worst matchup for Bellibolt, which is kind of funny because you might think it is, but because we're running Sucker Punch over the Thunder Shock, we're actually doing some solid fast move damage where we can shield up the move, and while they're dropping my attack, I'm boosting my defense at the same time, so I will take the next hit quite easily. They are forced to use a shield, and their health is kind of declining quite fast. And we have very similar, I think we have very much similar times to get to the moves. I think they're a tiny bit faster than I am, but in total, we are actually in a very, very solid spot here. We're going to be able to now see as well the Charizard coming in, and they have to go for a Blast Burn in order to knock me out. And so I can let the move go. It's a Blast Burn. I can farm them down with the Azumarill, and I will be able to take this game home. So maybe this team is not as bad. So far, 2 of the battles, I maybe could have played a little bit better. How about the next one? I don't know. I feel like I just got very unlucky with Bellibolt as well. And here's a truth that I have yet to tell you. This is not the first team I played with Bellibolt. This is not the second team that I played with Bellibolt. This is not the third team that I played with Bellibolt. This is the 4th team I played with Bellibolt. I had a lot of different combinations, variations of different kind of teams. Bellibolt in the lead, Bellibolt in the back, Bellibolt is a Haystop. I tried everything to make this Pokemon work. It never got into good matchups. It never got into any of the good matchups. And I think that is the issue. Why the hell are they running a double ground team here again with a ground in the lead and a ground in the Haystop? I don't know, but this is going to be impossible for us again because Bellibolt is aligned against the ground type. And this is the general theme here. And I don't know if my showcase, I actually spent like 4 sets trying to showcase Bellibolt. By the way, you see just here like the final team I just stuck with because I was like, okay, I give up. This is my last attempt here now to try to find a team that actually can make Bellibolt work. I think this is my best team that I built as well with it. But Bellibolt is honestly just a hindrance for your team building. Which is so weird, isn't it? Because Dedenne is one of the strongest Pokemon. But what makes Dedenne better than Bellibolt? I actually would say that Dedenne is bulkier than Bellibolt in 2 different ways. You are going to be able to get faster to the charge moves, while Bellibolt has the option to go for Thunder Shock as well in it. You don't have the secondary coverage there with another move. And for example, you would just completely be walled by any Grass-type Pokemon like Credilli. But the issue here as well is that Bellibolt's secondary type is just not there. There is no secondary type to this Pokemon. Which means that everything that's electric is resisting is great, of course, but electric is a very much neutral type. It has one big weakness, and that's going to be the ground type Pokemon, and against the rest, it's quite neutral. It doesn't do a lot of damage against Pokemon from, like, I think it's grass and other electrics and dragon type Pokemon, and that's super effective against, like, water and flying. But honestly, electric itself is not the best defensive type itself. Because you don't have a lot of resistances. You have a resistance to electric and flying, I think it is, and that's basically it. And there's basically no electric and flying type Pokemon that do like damage against you there. So, you're just in a very awkward spot with the typing, which means that Bellibolt, which has on paper better bulk than Dedenne, just feels so much squishier, and also because of the typing being so, I don't know, neutral and like not really that great. Just generally in the current meta, I feel like if you have electric type Pokemon, you have always a secondary type that makes it good. Charjabug has the bug typing, which is going to allow you to hit, for example, something Credilli for super effective damage. Dedenne has the fairy typing, which is going to allow you to hit, go like what's called the dragon type Pokemon or the fire type Pokemon for super effective damage. You have a resistance to those as well, which is great. Bellibolt doesn't have that. Bellibolt is just, if it's not weak to electric, you are kind of screwed. It's not great. And the stats itself doesn't really allow it to play at all outside of that. And I don't want to have Bellibolt buffed. I actually want the opposite. I want to have it nerfed because of how strong it is in the Ultra League. But in the Great League meta, which is quite a bit of a different meta, even though like a lot of XL Pokemon from the Great League are then very good in the Ultra League there. I feel like Bellibolt is just, honestly, just not a good Pokemon. It is just really not a good Pokemon. And I have to say though as well, I do feel like I was quite unlucky. I do think that the current Great League meta is a bit of a pain though. I hope that this changes quite a bit for the next season. But yeah, Bellibolt so far, not so good. None of the teams that I didn't showcase here, of course, worked either, because otherwise I would showcase them. And so we're at the final battle, and again, we're going to have a ground type against us. I do think that Bellibolt basically came up against a ground type in every single battle so far. And of course, this is going to impact the performance of this Pokemon. There is no doubt about that. And yeah, I do get why this Pokemon is not used. I do think that 17 is a way too high rank for a Pokemon that is just so bad against the current meta. And I do understand why it is ranked 17 though as well. Because if you take a look at what it beats so many different Pokemon. But it only beats them in specific scenarios where most of the Pokemon still have play in, like, for example, the Zero Shields, like here, Feraligatr against us. But Bellibolt is really awkward in so many cases because it's very easy to take advantage of this Pokemon. A ground type, you cannot hit it. A grass type, you can't really hit them. If you have a Pokemon that's faster charging than you, they're going to be able to pressure you too much in the Zero Shield scenario. You have to shield, and then they can swap out. And then where's the energy going to go? Where's the parabolic charge boost going to go? And this is the main reason, we're here now in the analysis part here, why Bellibolt is a bad Pokemon. It is not a good Pokemon in the Great League. And that's so hilarious to say, because it's dominating the Open Ultra League. But I feel like I've seen one or two people actually hit Legend with Bellibolt in the Great League. I think it was one person. But I do feel like that this Pokemon is so difficult to run right now that I would definitely recommend you to not run it. And that means already, yeah, this is not a good Pokemon. And I would give this team, if I need to have star systems again, which I'm maybe going to start doing a little bit as well towards that, 1 out of 5 stars. Like, I honestly don't think it's a great team. I tried my best to find a good team around Bellibolt. If you have different experience with this Pokemon in the Great League, let me know down below. Hopefully you still enjoyed this very honest review, and I will see you then. Bye-bye.